All right, y'all. There is something going on. We have a masculine that is something to do with a text message, y'all. Blocked, running, wishful thinking. Child, it's somebody you ain't wanting nothing to do with. You ain't want that fell out to that, girl. You ain't want nothing to do with him. You ain't want nothing to do with him in a minute. Blocked, running, wishful thinking, waves, emotion, and worry, okay? This person was getting on your damn nerve. And those were the consequences. This is somebody you blocked. He was doing too much. He was getting on your nerve. And your whole thing was like, let me get this person up out my hair. Okay? What you need to know, baby, is that this person who was initially running from a relationship with you, y'all see it running. This person who was initially running from a relationship with you, okay? Now he wants to talk to you. He wants to text. Wishful thinking. This is a man now that's hoping he can get a second chance. Look, we open the deck up at 10 of Pentacles, okay? This man is now saying, oh, look at this. Look at this. Empress, okay? This man is now like, oh, I wish she could have been the one for me. Okay, you're the one. Okay? I wish she could have been the one for me. Now he wants you to be the Empress in his 10 of Pentacles. Now it's like, she should have been my queen. You have blocked this man because this man was like, this was somebody you was like, I can't even do this with you again. Now he out here scratching at the door. Okay? And for what, sir? Okay, what exactly is it that you have to say? Because, yeah. Seven of Pentacles. Four of Swords. Four of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, Nine of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. The one thing you need to really realize about this man in terms of the message that he really would like you to get, it's really one of looking back. He's looking back over his life. He's looking back over relationships. He's looking back over everything. And this is really where he's coming from. It's like, yo, I've been looking back. I've been stopping, sitting still, thinking some things through. And I realized I held back, my fantasies for you. And I'm depressed about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm depressed. I'm depressed that I didn't do things to take us in a different direction. So this is what we see right out the gate off this text message. It's like, now that I had time to lay back and reflect and think things through, I realized I was holding back. I wasn't telling you my fantasies of you. Now I'm miserable because I didn't take things in a different direction. Okay, this is where he's at. Okay, we see the Hermit. The 10 of Pentacles, once again, y'all thought I was playing. Okay, Three of Cups. Two of Swords. High Priestess. Six of Swords. He's like, why didn't I take things in a different direction? Now I'm sitting here lonely for the real thing when I could have just celebrated with you. But he didn't want to be ride or die for you. Okay, he saw that you was a high priestess and he ran. Six of Swords and he ran. He saw that you was really like the real deal and he ran. Sir, why did you run? I mean, nobody... people be acting like you made them do some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, why did you run? Hello? Five of Wands. King of Wands. Judgment. Oh my God. King of Pentacles. I can tell you, listen, I'm going to let you finish talking, sir. Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Church bells ring when the Judgment card comes to the building. Y'all already know. This man ran because you was basically fighting and coming against him being out here, being a ladies' man. This is a man that was still out here flirting. He may be high in Sagittarius, Leo, Aries energy. This is a man that was still out here flirting and kikiing and doing his thing. Can y'all see? This man was still out here doing him. And he knew that being with you, you was going to call judgment on that. You were going to call judgment. You was going to say, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to become somebody that's going to be home. You're going to be providing. King of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles energy. Or he felt like you was going to be on his ass about that. Queen of Swords. This man knew that you were going to call judgment on him. It's like, if you're out here in the street doing whatever, I am absolutely going to, you're not with me. Because he had at least sense enough to recognize that you were in divine high priestess energy. This was not somebody that didn't see your worth or didn't see the archetype that you was representing. He did see what he was dealing with. He did see what he was, the type of lady he was dealing with. And he just knew, Okay? He just knew. Like, hey, you know? Ten of Swords. He knew he was going to be dead in the water when it came to you, Queen of Swords. Like, you weren't going to accept that. Ten of Swords, Five of Cups, Three of Wands, Three of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, and the Emperor. This is somebody that knew you were going to speak up and you was going to dump the shit out of him. You didn't care if it was going to break your heart or not. You would have looked towards the future if he continued to run around in third-party energy. If he continued to create burdens for you, you were going to go look for a real man. Amen? The Emperor. You were going to go look for a divine emperor. You were going to look for a man that was really about that business. Okay, period. You didn't care about what he was talking about because at the end of the day, you really was looking for a whole King of Pentacles. You said you was looking for him to come up off the flirting and the kikiing, the Five of Wands, King of Wands stuff, and get on the King of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. You wanted a man in Pentacles energy, a man that understood building, value, assets, family. You didn't want somebody that was out here I'm out here just slinging it and being a whole sexy hot boy. You wasn't looking for Young Thug. You wasn't looking for that. You was looking for Aaron Piaz Mustafa. You was looking for something with a little more wholesome, that had something more going for it. Okay? You wasn't looking for this. You was looking for that. Now, this man already knew that. You was looking for a man who was more in Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. Shout out to the Taurus season. You was looking for somebody more in Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. Somebody that was more about building. Somebody that may have been a little more serious in a lot of ways when it came to money and planning. That's what you were looking for. To be honest, even though he is in a Five of Wands, King of Wands energy. So this man is exciting. He is a lot of fun. He's probably very funny. Okay, he's got his stuff that makes him, you know, a pleasure. However, you were looking for somebody that was more in Pentacles energy. Okay, so with that being said, when it came to Pentacles energy, this Knight comes out and not a King. He really wasn't even prepared for what you were talking about. That's not to say that he just wasn't. When it came to the being a provider piece, he was a little wishy-washy and he wasn't really willing to give as much money as what you may have found fulfilling now. This is all the stuff that this man is revealing to us now that you're gone. Now that I'm gone, what was that? You wanna come back? Okay, now he on that Page of Swords. Is it a fact? Okay. You made me wait too long. I'm gone. Okay, Page of Swords, Death card energy with the Five of Swords. This man knows that, I mean, he really wasn't steady enough in his energy to really give you what you would have, you know, he just wasn't really ready yet in that space. So he wasn't going to be that fulfilling. He still kind of had his guards up. And because he had his guards up, he kind of was in a space where you often felt that he was taking you into a place of kind of like betrayal energy. You know, you felt like, listen, you say you want to do this, but you're not really giving it all up. You know, he wasn't ready to be anything. He wasn't ready to do a full rebirth. And that for you, that wasn't nothing this is why everything blew up. That wasn't nothing you was really finna deal with. Tower, Six of Cups. That wasn't nothing you was really going to put up with. This is how this man ended up getting left in the past. And his mind has been going 100 miles a minute ever since this is a situation of somebody that was like, oh, I know they ain't gonna leave though. Like, it ain't so much you wouldn't have been mad or you wouldn't have disapproved, but she'll be there. This is what he was, I ain't saying this is what was going to happen. You knew better. We know better. But this is what he was telling himself. You know, however this pans out, I know she in my corner. You know, she might not like it, but I'll give her a call. We're talking through it. And then it was just like blocked. Life goes on. Okay, this is somebody that just did not see the old blocked life comes on coming. He did not see that. He was lost. When that phone wasn't putting him through, this man was talking about, huh? What? Okay, he was not prepared for that. He was not prepared, girl. He thought y'all was gonna go on. And on and on. Lord have mercy, okay? People be thinking it's a joke in the game to that block hit. Okay, to the block drop. Today, okay, we got today, masked, healing, paranoid, baby, don't worry about it, okay, hey, yeah, We got today. Today, this man's intentions have been relatively masked. He hasn't really come towards you and said too much, mainly because it looks like you have moved on. Okay, you looking healed. Whenever I see like somebody fall back and you see like masks and healing and all that together, it just gives very much somebody's been watching your social media. Yeah, like I said, Queen of Cups, you look happy, you look at rest, you look at peace. He's watching you, he's paranoid, he sees you over there smelling the roses. Okay, and this man's trying to figure out a way to sneak back into your life. Text message would be the obvious way. It looks like you might have him blocked, though, girl. We came out, the gate was blocked. But this man is trying to think of what tricks he can run to try to get back into your life. But he's looking from a distance and knowing full well that you are, you know, you don't look too approachable. It's like you look like you moved on and you happy. Okay, narcissist, nightlife. What did I just tell y'all? This man want to be outside all this. I just said that. Envy, psycho. Look at this. Abusive, conniving, unpredictable, harmony. I'm gonna tell you something. This man was spending a lot of his time outside. Okay, just kind of being self-interested, always thinking about self, not really paying attention, and it kind of puts you in a position where you just didn't see anything in him that you would want. Okay, give me clarification on envy. The fool, psychopath, the devil. Look at the confirmation. 9 of Wands. Let me tell you what happened here and how it is you got away from this man and why I don't see him being able to do anything to get back. But you know, we're just checking out the energy that's in the astral around the situation. Yeah, you done cut this man off. You see the scissors, girl. You done cut this man out your life. But let me tell you what happened. Torch, girl. You done cut him out, burned him out, girl. He done. But let me tell you what's going on. Somebody may have done a cord cutting, actually. That's what that gives. Somebody may have actually performed a cord cutting on this masculine. But let me tell you something. You got away from this man because you saw all of these energies, the envy, the psychopathic stuff, and you knew that expecting harmony from this man was only going to cause you some type of injury. 9 of Wands. And you had the good sense to cut the cord. You did a cord cutting ceremony. You cut the cords. You blocked him. You changed your number. You cut off the energetic ties because you had sense enough to see who you was really dealing with. A demonic fool, girl. You said, I'm not. You were so able to look at him being out in the street, being selfish. You was like, I'm looking for a divine masculine. I'm looking for somebody that's willing to provide. I'm looking for somebody that's willing to give me whatever. And you're still outside here playing around. And then you want to see if you can call me back. You was just like, yeah, I don't see why I would give a damn about that. Somebody was like, that's not even remotely something that I feel would, you know, what would I do with that? Like you was in that type of energy of like, what would I do with somebody that felt that way about it? You're in a psychopathic energy. You're still envious. You're still a dark energy. I don't see what I can do with that. Okay. 7 of Wands. Energetically, this person was trying to hold on to you because he really wanted energy and victory from you. Look, now I'm embarrassed by my actions, but you had him right because you saw spiritually that he wasn't prepared for nothing for real. I don't care how much he's looking back and saying, oh, I wish, I hope, I feel overwhelmed. Yeah, but you saw it for what it was. You had the sense to see it like, this dude ain't ready to be about nothing. See, because this man would get bored in a relationship. I need connections. This connection bores me. Blah. He would need to go out and rip and run. And he would go do that and then leave you ass out. Curiosity, drink me. Okay? He get curious and run outside. I don't care how much love. See, and the thing about you is that you the type of person that assessed everything for what it was up front. Like, nah, you get bored, you run outside. He's somebody that wants you to still see him as being somebody you could deal with. We see indigo child. You may have been an indigo child. You have spiritual gifts. You're not the type of person he could run this on. Your discernment was way too sharp. You saw this coming at 5,000 paces. Okay? You saw, ooh, child, this man don't want me talking about this, does he? Hold on now. Woo! You also saw this man's low self-esteem, that he really didn't like himself. I'm going to tell you, he may not have been that attractive. This may be an average looking guy. And this makes sense because let me get some water, okay? Because he tried it. Yeah, you tried it. Okay, we ain't gonna have all that. But I'm gonna tell you something. Okay? This man's situation right here, the way it pans out, he may not have been that good looking, and it explains why he needs all this validation from outside, running outside, trying to see who's outside. Okay? We understand now where all of this is coming from. This man had a lot of karma, drama, endings, loss, mental breakdown. This man was in a mental breakdown, y'all. That's bananas. Okay, and then we see the tower in the reverse. This man was in a mental breakdown of some sort, and he was trying to rebuild his self-esteem by running out in the streets, getting all this attention. You know, it was a desperate need for attention. That's why we're seeing psychopath energy and narcissist energy. This man was addicted to trying to get attention, trusted ties. He kept trying to practically build a harem or something like that out there. And it was all coming from low self-esteem. 8 of Wands in reverse. Something that he wasn't talking to nobody about. It's all coming from low self-esteem. I need to free myself from fear and doubts. I am a caged bird. What I tell you, all this man was caring about was making himself feel good about himself as a man. The low self-esteem was there. I don't know if he was heavy set. I don't know if he was just blasé looking, or if he was like early pattern baldness, or, you know, maybe he got a small woos wazy dazzle wazzle girl. I don't know, but something was going on with him where it just seems like he wasn't. Okay. Precognition. You had extreme spiritual gifts, sis. You kind of saw so many things coming. That's why you was able to perceive that a 9 of Wands was coming to you, which means you were going to end up battle weary, injured, tired, broken, hit. You know, when you get hit in battle, now you got to fall back. This person that made you scared or left you with PTSD, CPTSD. You know, you got things you got to heal from, repair from. You knew all of that, okay? 4 of Swords. That's why you decided to fall back. Your spiritual gifts kind of told you to fall back. You may have even heard in your spirit that it was time to fall back and practice self-care. 4 of Swords, Queen of Cups. I'm telling you, somebody fell back, and you literally might have just said, you know what, I'd rather focus on late nights watching my favorite program and getting some laughs and kikiing online with the girls or whatever than to be in some mess. Okay, we see the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You were blessed with this precognition, this foresight that told you this is going to go bad. This is going to go backwards because this man doesn't have the self-esteem. Okay, you moved on. You don't wish to reconnect with this man. You were able to see the spiritual holes that he had and how they could ultimately become detrimental to your life, and you got out the way. Okay, way off in the future. What, y'all? Way off in the future, you knew that this was only going to lead to more betrayals. You have a good eye, okay? And him being resentful of you. I adore you in reverse. That's why we saw envy. You saw all of that. Ace of Cups in reverse. You saw that you would end up with nothing but spilled tears, okay? Refreshed romance, and that it would start over. So somebody recognized, like, this ain't gonna be nothing but some of that toxic where we just going around and around in circles with each other. You know, oh, we in love today, we not in love tomorrow. It's cool today, it's not cool tomorrow. Somebody was like, I don't want to live like that. I've seen this before. When we see refreshed romance and cycle, you know, you had already been in this space. You already knew what time it was. This wasn't something where you were confused. This wasn't something where you didn't get what was going on. You may have even gone through his phone or just picked up his phone. Psychometry. You may have gone through his phone or looked through his phone. Somebody is good at picking up vibrations, even when picking up objects. And you might have just picked up his phone or just checked. You got so much energy from this man to let you know, like, yeah, this ain't it. King of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups. You knew what you were looking for. And you said, I ain't finna lose no sleep over this. Somebody got out the way. This man cannot come back. But know that in the astral, in his mind, the text message that he may have actually, if you check your blocked, okay, he may have actually tried to text you or DM you or whatever the case is with this information just to say, hey, you know, I knew that what you wanted, and I just didn't think you was going to put up with me ripping and running, but I really did love you. I wanted you to be my empress. Now, a bunch of stuff that don't need to be said. You had this man down pat. Somebody out there, girl, you used your spiritual gifts and they did not lead you astray. You used your spiritual gifts to just be like, this ain't, why would I engage in this? Okay? And you were absolutely correct. Okay? If you have enjoyed this divine feminine tarot tea, girl, please go ahead, do like, do share, do subscribe. Okay? Do not be afraid to come through the building, girl. And when you do what? So you could be here every single time. Me and the T team are off up in here getting it in with all of these good old tarot messages, baby. If you would like a personal reading from me, please go ahead. Hit me up at dftarottea@gmail.com. Did I say that already? Y'all know I be flubbing my outro, okay? Also, if you would like to check out the membership, girl, go ahead, check the link in the bio section beneath this video. Also, please be aware, I am back on Facebook. Yeah, I'm back. Okay, I'm gonna keep it updated this time, I swear. Okay, go ahead, check me out on Facebook. Go ahead, check me out on Facebook, Patreon, or the memberships on this channel, girl. Check out the letters we burn on this channel, where we just do written readings every day or so. You know, just a little written, little 1-2. You know, something to just get you through the day, give you a little something to read. You know, a little tarot reading on hand, on deck, you know, a little story. It's where romance novel meets tarot. You know how it is. Okay, also, if you would like to, check us out on Patreon. We do a lot of dark feminine tea over there. You know, keep yourself up with reading. We also do multiple types of readings over there and a lot of precognitive work, okay? Please go ahead and check me out over on Patreon. That link is in the link beneath this video as well. Also, do not forget to go on the Facebook, girl, and be my friend. Okay, also, if you would like to let me know you are still here, girl, go ahead and put a little 2144 in the comments section, because it was exactly 21 minutes and 44 seconds when I started saying what I said, okay? Also, if you would like to make a little love offering to this channel, dftarottea at Cash App or even at PayPal. And as always, I will catch y'all in the next one.